Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. Welcome back to another episode of Two Wheel Talks. Grab your popcorn, get some drinks, and enjoy the show.
Alrighty guys, what's up and welcome back to yet another episode of the Walk Around. Today guys, we are on episode 3 of this season's Walk Around and we are switching things up. Obviously first episode, episode 1 and episode 2 were actually quad bikes, so keeping in the theme of dirt, but over from 4 wheels we are now down to 2. And yeah guys, I must say this is an extremely nice looking KTM. I'm a huge fan of this. The white fuel tank, looks absolutely beautiful. But without going any further guys, let me just get you the info on this thing so that yeah, we can get this show on the road. So guys, this is a 2014 KTM250 XC-W. So definitely more so directed at your motocross purposes. Obviously it does not have a side stand or anything like that. It doesn't have the lights. So yeah, definitely more so directed at your like sort of track use, you know, MX use, stuff like that. However, I've seen a lot of people using MX bikes for off-road purposes. At the end of the day, even if it is per se a motocross model, you can quite easily use it for enduro. I mean, simple things like getting a skid plate, getting the front disc protectors, the rear disc protectors, and all of that sort of stuff. Guys, as I always say, with the off-roads, you guys have to remind yourselves that these are bikes that are basically designed to be run through the mill. You know, they are literally designed to go and do, they are literally designed to go and climb up mountains, over rocks, up boulders, through rivers, you know, the whole 9 yards. So just bear that in mind when you're having a look at this thing, especially when I get into the section of when you start taking a look at damage. I mean, just to start off with, you guys will even see there that the exhaust is a little bit dinged up, and that's just one of the things that comes with, you know, it being a dirt bike, because it's being used the way it should be. Obviously, you know, you can get some MX bikes that end up staying really clean, because all they're seeing is dirt. They're not seeing the rocks or the logs or the water or anything like that. Especially if you're going to get an MX bike that has only been used for on the road, you know, like a lot of these stunters nowadays. I personally actually have a 450 that I use. So yeah, and that bike, for example, it's not going to end up looking like it's been run through the mill because I'm using it on the roads. So yeah, just a brief explanation, because sometimes we do get some people who are like, oh no, look at this and look at that, and like, you know, what do you expect, dude? If you want a fully no scratches, no nothing off-road, then go and buy a new one. You know, that's the truth at the end of the day, unless you can find yourself a very clean MX bike that's been well looked after, and then, you know, obviously it's a different story. But anyways, that's enough yappa. Guys, as I always say, first thing we're going to start off with is modifications, just or slash things that I just want to bring light to, and then following that we'll have a look at the damage, you know, major damage here and there, and then after that I'll give you guys a little startup so you guys can hear what this thing sounds like. So yeah, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, first thing that I want to kind of touch on is the lever guards. Now, in my opinion, it's just an absolute necessary. If you got an off-road, just put some lever guards on there, man. You know, really, it's not going to do you any harm. The two main things that I kind of recommend them for is obviously, firstly, if you fall, you're going to be able to protect all of this up there. And if your hand's in here, you might actually be able to protect your hand a bit if you don't instinctively put it out there to you know, catch yourself. But the other thing, which is often very much so overlooked, is these actually keep the wind off your fingers. So if it's really cold out, wind is icy, these do a brilliant job of actually helping at least to keep your fingers a little bit warmer, or rather to prevent them from getting more cold. I think that's probably a better way of saying it. So yeah, obviously in a dirt application, I wouldn't necessarily say that, you know, it protecting your fingers from the wind is a huge pro, but definitely on the likes of the ADV bikes, the lever guards make quite a big difference in that sense. So yeah, for me, it's an absolute no-brainer, and these look really nice. I love how these have been mounted here. So then next up, guys, I'm just going to come onto this side of the bike, and over here you guys will see one of the enduro sort of modifications that I was talking about. You've got a front disc protector. So what that's going to do is, if you are in some heavy rocks, or if you're going through a river and you can't see what's happening, that is going to do an amazing job of actually protecting that disc. Then just a little highlight, some beautiful, pristine Brembo calipers. Love Brembo calipers. It's also got steel braided lines. And on the topic of being on the and just while we're at the front of the bike here, you guys will see that we've got some lovely WP suspension, some of the best stuff in the market at the moment. So yeah, front of this bike is looking nice and stacked. Just a little run through again. You've got the lever guards, you've got the Brembos with the steel braided lines, and of course your disc protectors. So it's looking absolutely snazzy, and yes, once again, a WP suspension. Then guys, I'm just going to kind of move backwards from there. One of the, well, in fact it's the highlight on this bike for me, this white petrol tank. I mean, wow. It is actually the first one that I've seen that is this white. Sometimes they actually go yellow, but you see now these, I don't think these started off as white. But yeah, in my opinion, that versus this white, I mean, night and day difference. This thing is looking absolutely snazzy, and that white fuel tank is definitely playing a big role in it. It looks absolutely menacing. It's awesome. Then coming right down from that, you guys will see that we've got a nice FMF link pipe here. The exhaust, if I'm not mistaken, it's probably going to be a FMF X KTM race parts muffler. It's the most common muffler that gets put on these KTMs. So yeah, I can't say 100% certainty, but I'm going to assume that it is, purely based off the fact that we've got a nice FMF pipe there. And yeah, as you guys can see, it is a bit dinged up. Just below that, I think you've got your water pump. In fact, yeah, it's your water pump, and there's a water pump protector. So that's, again, it's on the outside of the bike. So if this thing falls, or if there's something that you're passing by that's at that height, that's just going to do a great job of protecting that casing. And once again, it's going to be much cheaper to replace or recon this than it is going to be to replace that casing. So 5 stars in my book. And just below that, you guys will see that we've got the nice belly plate, which in my opinion, if you are going to do enduro, is an absolute must. It even helps you like slide over rocks and stuff, and the logs and all sorts of stuff, and then you really don't have to worry about damaging anything at the bottom of your bike. Then coming back up to the top of the bike, guys, you've got a nice seat cover on here. Unfortunately, I'm not seeing any branding, so I can't exactly tell you where it is from. But just for some reference, here we have some stock seat covers, and as you guys can see, they just don't have that extra little bit of grip. You can see over there on that Husqvarna, we've actually put on one of our own seat covers. So yeah, that's one of the things you guys can buy from us. It's just a little bit better than stock. As you guys can see, these little ridges actually help quite a lot to keep you in place. So yeah, on the note of things that you can get from us, guys, we also do sticker kits. We do the spoke covers, we do the lever guards, and I'm sure there's a whole bunch of other things. We also source, so if you guys want to get something and put it on your bike, we can do that for you. If you want to bring something in and have us put it on your bike for you, we can do that. I mean, we did it today for a Jigsaw 750. Put some levers on for him, put some bobbins, crash bobbins on the sides, and we, made it look absolutely spiff, and then off he goes on his way. So yeah, guys, our service center can do a lot. You can even bring a bicycle here, and we'll put an engine in it for you. I mean, what bike shops are doing that nowadays? No one else, only Dewet&Bikes. Yes, guys, yes. At the top here, we do have some stock levers. However, they are Brembos. We've got Brembo Masters as well. So super nice, top of the range braking systems up there. Coming down to the back of the bike, guys, once again, we've got some nice Brembo calipers. Well, a nice Brembo caliper up there. And then once again, we've got the disc protector. So yeah, again, in my opinion, it's an absolute necessity if you're going to be doing any sort of enduro for that matter. And then here, I wouldn't really call it a modification, but it does. It just protects your frame from that wear and tear, because when you're in your boots and stuff, they really do rub along here. And it doesn't really damage anything. It just takes all the paint off of here. So this does a great job of protecting all of that paint on the frame. So yeah, in terms of longevity, 10 out of 10 for that. It's going to keep your frame looking nice and fresh. It's much easier, once again, to replace that little piece of plastic than it is to go and respray your entire frame. So yeah. Then obviously, as I mentioned, guys, you got your nice little muffler there on the back. Got a nice little aftermarket shifter here. Super common to see on the KTM, super common to see on all the dirt bikes actually. Yeah, no, not much to say about that. No branding on it or anything like that, but these are pretty, you can come by them pretty regularly. So yeah. And then once again, we've got a nice little plastic casing on there, so once again, it's just going to protect you, and no, at the end of the day, it's going to be cheaper to replace than the casing, so yeah, 10 out of 10 for that as well. And yeah guys, I think that's probably about it when it comes to modifications and stuff. I am trying to learn about sprockets and stuff just so that I can give you guys a little bit of extra information in terms of you know, your sprocket ratios and stuff like that. But yeah, for today, unfortunately, I don't have anything to speak on in terms of the sprockets. Tires, I did see one or two of these little knobs in front. They are a little bit worn out there. Otherwise, that front tire is still perfect. And then on the rear, we're still looking good. You can see it has not been used for wheelies or anything like that, purely because this center tread is quite similar to that of the outer tread. And if you find a bike that has, well, an off-road that has an extremely flat top, but you've still got the knobs on the side that look healthy, and that is a pretty much a telltale sign that you're buying a wheelie bike. So yeah, just something to keep an eye out for future reference. Yeah guys. Alrighty guys, with that out of the way, let's have a look at some of the damage that we've got going on. Yeah, so obviously guys, lever guards, they're doing their job, they're protecting, and yeah, with that being said, you guys will see some damage there. It's expected. Coming down to the front of the bike, as I showed you guys earlier, there is some damage on that front disc protector. English is not Englishing, guys. Front disc protector is doing its job in protecting that front disc. Super nice. Again, 10 out of 10 for that one. Fork seals are good. I know for a fact that they are good. As I guys showed you earlier, you would have seen this exhaust has taken a bit of a hit, as well as that casing protector, and then obviously your belly pan is doing its job, so it's been protecting everything under there, so it's got all sorts of scratches and stuff. No major damage to the foot brake or foot peg for that matter. I do see there's just one or two teeth here that are slightly bent in, nothing major at all. No major damage to the swing arm over here. There are protectors that you can get for your swing arms, so that's another thing that you can look out for. Again, it's just keeping the bike in, you know, good condition. Instead of having to try and recon a damaged swing arm, you can just, you know, put a protector on there, and then you don't have to worry about it. Take it off and then it looks good as new. Then you guys will see here on the exhaust, we've got a few dents and a few scratches. Unfortunately, that's just one of the things that comes with enduro and your bike toppling over every now and then. Levers are still in good condition, grips are still in good condition. I did have a look at the tires with you guys, so that's all nice. I did check out the chain when I was on this side, and it's all looking good. Same story with sprockets, no bent teeth, no missing teeth, nothing like that. Again, just a few scratches there at the back near the axle. Really no sort of major damage that I can see. It's just expected stuff, you know, like damage to the protectors. You know, that's what they're there for, guys. So yeah, I'm really not seeing any sort of major dents or cracks or anything like that. I have checked both rims, no dents, no cracks. So yeah, all of the tubing is still in great condition. That's one of the things that we try and look out for. Yeah, just a few scratches on the tank here, guys. Otherwise, other than normal wear and tear, this thing is in really good condition, guys. The only major thing I can kind of point out to you is this exhaust. Alrighty, now let's get this thing started for you guys. And as you guys can see, we obviously do have a kickstand. It is one of the things that I cannot wait to put on my Husky. I don't know why I haven't done it yet. You know, it doesn't make sense, but it's something I need to do. It's so overlooked. Guys, I must say to you, I'm slowly but surely realizing that this is not an MX bike, eh? I just get so confused with the XC-W and TPI, and you know, there's the SXF. I know SXF is definitely motocross, but like the XC-W and stuff like that, that definitely gets me confused. But I'm gonna have to correct myself. I'm correcting past red. This is not an MX bike, Mr. Ed. This is an enduro bike through and through, definitely. So yeah, guys, I won't lie to you. After seeing that kickstand, it was kind of like the telltale sign. When I was on that side of the bike, I didn't actually know it had one, which is, yeah. I mean, it looks like an MX bike. It really does, which is a good thing. You know, it looks really nice. Love this thing. Looking absolutely spiff. Okay, let's get this thing started for you guys. And And I want to, oh no, you can't. I was going to say I want an electric start on my bike, but you know, it's not that simple. Wow. You know, people talk a lot of stuff about KTM, but they do it so well. They do it so well. Regardless of who owns them now, they are such a good brand. Alrighty guys, we've been idling for a little while now. Super nice. That pipe sounds very nice. Shame the admin lady is right here, so I don't want to rev it too much for you guys. But just saying that was like boom, 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 not even... Ooh, quick action throttle tube. Maybe. Feels like it. Feels like a quick action throttle tube. I love me a quick action throttle tube. But yo guys, that pretty much wraps things up for today's episode. As I said previous episodes, if you want to go and check them out, you're more than welcome to. It's two quad bikes, YFZ 450 and a big, huge quad bike, Bombardier, de Bombardier. So yeah, go check out those episodes if you're interested in a quad. And yeah, that's it for this episode guys. Next episode is definitely going to be an off-road. Oh no, we've got leaves coming in. We need to close the door. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching if you made it through to the end of the video. If you have any questions, drop them down in the comments and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. That's it from me today guys. I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.